The World Wrestling Federation. For over 50 years, the revolutionary force in sports entertainment.
What's our name?
Well, men on the
Are you ready?
Well,
Here we go. Bam, bang, boom. Here we go.
Welcome to the New Gen on a Mission podcast on the Backbone Wrestling Network. Tim Slomka.
I'm JP.
Thanks for joining us again. As always, we're on the journey to relive the New Generation era to find the best of the worst of a wrestling time period often forgotten. Brett Shawn, Survivor Series 92. It's Brett Shawn, Survivor Series 97. Look beyond the pay-per-views, examine the weekly TV, see what worked, what could have worked, and what failed. JP, how is life?
It's good, man. It's good. Hey, you're a fig connoisseur yourself, right?
What was
that? A figure.
Oh, figure.
Connoisseur?
I thought you were saying
Yeah.
like fig, like fig trees or something like fig. I was like, not really.
Yeah, no.
I do like my fig bars here and there. But...
Right. No, I'm not in that high life, but more of the child life of an adult.
Yes.
But yeah, have you ever had? I don't know if you go like if you buy them in the store, or if you ever have you ever had the moment where you'll buy one by yourself and it's clearly like this lady who's at the register that has to make a big deal about it.
Oh yeah.
So today I had to stop at the store. It was my wife's grandpa's birthday. I had to stop and get something for him real quick. And I saw Typhoon there. I'm like, oh shit, I don't have him in my collection. I'm going to get it. And I'm walking up to the register and it's just me. This like 50-something-year-old lady says,
Yeah.
Oh, a wrestling figure, huh? And I just had to lie. I'm like, yeah, my son's really into this. And then I had to go into like, for some reason, he likes the wrestlers from like when I grew up. Like, no, she doesn't know who it is.
She doesn't care
know,
when you're just like, I'm gonna go off of this.
Right? Like, she doesn't know who Typhoon is. She doesn't know that she, for all she knows, that could have been a current person or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like walking in the parking lot. I'm like, why did I just lie to that lady? Like,
Gotta make her call so feel better.
Dude,
it
was so bad.
It's just embarrassing, the wrestling thing. Like people treat it like it's like the weirdest thing that you like. It's like, I can't believe you still like that stuff. And I'm like,
that's the line right there. That line that you just said, and anybody listens to this podcast has probably heard that same line. I can't believe you still watch, or my dad would say, I can't believe you still watch that shit. Or you're still into that, ain't you? Like
my mom still thought I was gonna get kidnapped the first time I went on one of the wrestling trees with JT and stuff.
Yeah.
She's like, call me every time you land. I'm like, well, one, I'm 39. And two, like she thought I was like getting hoodwinked by this wrestling network. It was
right. I've been around that crowd. They're a bad crowd.
Yeah, she's like flabbergasted that like I would go do that. Like,
yeah,
I can't even get my parents, so I'm not gonna get other people.
But what I don't get is like WWE is so popular. Like it's on ESPN. It's all this stuff. It's not that niche anymore. Like, it's not.
And it's like it's been around. It's not like, oh, this is like a brand new thing where it's like, okay, it's a fad. Like it's 50 years of like besides 5 years from 92 to 97, really sustained success, right? Like, besides this new gen era,
but why?
All over.
Like kids can go buy Pokemon or whatever and have no shame at all. Kids can go buy whatever name whatever else little
or adults
comics. Adults can buy cards, can buy comics, whatever. There's no shame. For some reason, wrestling is like the one thing that people hold on to, or like, it's fake, right? I can't believe ever since I found out it wasn't fake, I don't watch it anymore. I don't watch that fake stuff. I'm like,
I don't watch movies or anything else either. So it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
No, I usually buy them. So there are two ways I buy them. Either I go to Target and I just see, this one's great.
Yeah.
I can't pass this guy up. Or we talk about something, usually on this or something else, like, oh, Coco Beware. And I'm like, I don't have a Coco Beware. I'm gonna buy that on eBay immediately.
Oh, that's the same thing.
I'm never like plotting to do it. It's just someone brings something up. I'm like, why don't I have one? And
so you don't have a formula. You just go on a whim.
Pure pressure. Like to myself, like, oh, someone said this is
yep,
this is good. So that's my usual run the gambit of how to get these things. So and I did for my wife is not a fan of Earthquake. So when I was at Target getting her, gifts and cards, saw an Earthquake figure, and I said, this is perfect for the birthday. So she was very happy to open up the Earthquake figure. So it must be
you're gonna like this shit whether you like it or not.
Natural disaster. It must be natural disasters. Released, I guess, if Typhoon's
That's awesome.
But I do not have a Typhoon, so maybe.
No, I probably have like 300 figures, something like that. Maybe
Okay.
like I have a ton, and I didn't have him. I was like, you know what? I get in this line. I'm like, I just knew this lady was gonna do it. I just knew it.
You could see her.
I was
You could
about to
see
go
her a
to
mile
self
away.
checkout. Yep, I just knew it, and sure enough, a wrestling figure, huh?
Oh,
I'm like, son of a bitch.
I
Like,
knew
lady,
it.
yeah.
But good stuff. Yeah. Well, congrats on the Typhoon. I'll see if I bag one tonight. All
Right.
right. Let's move into the non-popular period of wrestling. It's from 1994, Superstars episode, November 12th. So the final pickup to Survivor Series. We got one more weekend of shows after this, including the Sunday Night Slam.
Right.
So this is kind of really the last of the build. This was taped back on October 18th. So again, we're getting into this like end of the build a month before the pay-per-view. So we start off with Lex Luger, standard squash. He's kind of a guy that's going nowhere in my eyes. Like he's in another match later where I'm just like, man, Luger is just done. He's just done. Needs a reset. Even though I liked him at the time, it's just like amazing how far he fell. And it's so weird that he's using the torture rack. Like I was a huge Luger mark, and I've never remembered this move. Like it's crazy. But in WCW, I remember, oh yeah, that's his finishing move. And it's like for WWF, I can't just something in my head.
I always thought he had the forearm. You know what I think it is? I think it's the video game. Like the video game, he had the forearm as his finish. So I just assumed that was always his finish in WWF.
Yeah, I've never. Yeah, it's just crazy. But like WCW, associate like
100%. Yeah, torture rack.
A year and a half later, he's doing the torture rack. Like, yep, that's a new new move. So kind of crazy there. And then we get I thought kind of unique was they have a softball tournament in order of Joey Morella. So kind of cool. They do this memorial for him. They have these two guests of honor. I have no idea who these two celebrities, quote unquote celebrities, were.
Right.
Bam Bam had a huge hit in this thing. Gorilla Monsoon was kind of the commentator for it. Interesting, they don't mention his son. I believe it's his like adopted son. I'm not sure exactly his son, right? I think it's adopted son. But
I think you're
still
right.
interesting. It's so interesting they don't like bring that up. Like they say, "Oh, Gorilla Monsoon was there." So like it's super kayfabe, but it is his son dying of like a tragic accident. So kind of interesting there. And then we get the Doink and Dink out there, which is just amazing. Doink and Dink out there, like just over the top. They Doink sprays $1 Million Man with a bucket after he tries to buy off the ref. So a fun little segment, probably kind of cool on them. It took them, 5 months later to do something for Joey Morella like Big Time, but kind of cool that they did this and everyone took their time off, and it looked like a good time there. So I don't know if you had anything.
It was the 5 tool players that Doink and Dink are was, something to behold, but. After that, we get a Owen squash, pretty run of the mill from him. Someone who desperately needs like a reset. Like they're just, I don't know. I just feel like Vince, being back full time, just doesn't see anything in Owen at all, and he's clearly like second fiddle to everybody else. Just all the steam is off of Owen. It's crazy.
Yeah, the only thing I would add was it was cool that he had the towel. So he's like, he's already wearing the towel. So he's got the towel. Like, I'm never throwing this in. So they're really playing up that gimmick. So I think good on them for that.
He's like making the best out of what he can. Like he's good in the role he is. It just sucks to see him get put in that position. It's just, especially for how good he was. And I guess, Vince is always going to fetishize the big guys, and he. Like that Bret Owen feud probably killed Vince inside a little bit. Like seeing 2 smaller guys feud for half a year, I guess. So
I mean, it's time for Owen to move on to something else. I feel like too. Like we talked about this 2 weeks ago. Like he never wins, right? He's like he never wins this feud. Like it's like okay, it's fine. It's time to move on from this and find something different. I don't know what yet. Like that's where I'm kind of stuck a little bit of where he would go, but
it's like. Bret, Bret's 95, right? And we're gonna come up on it. Is always seen as like, oh, they shoved him way down the card, and he's facing John Pierre Lafitte and Hakushi and whatever. Which I like those matches. Like I think they're unique. But like think about Owens 95. Like there's just nothing. Like if you just think back, like I know he does this stuff with Shawn at the end of the year, but he's in a tag team with Yoko. It's like I think he gets pushed down too.
Yeah, I mean, I think the tag team is good for him to give him a belt because it's like he's never won a belt, right? But the problem is the teams they fight are just garbage, right?
Right.
That's probably the biggest thing on that.
Yep.
Is just there's no credibility in the tag team division.
Yeah, that's
So
fair. So and speaking of Yoko, there is a Vince interview next with Cornette and Yoko. So, I mean, I'm just ready for like this match to be over with. Like they just keep talking about the whole playing into the casket thing again. It is kind of cool to see Cornette call out Chuck Norris a little bit. So, Cornette's good in his role. It's just like the whole, big guy scared of a casket, like just like Kamala was, just like Giant Gonzalez, whatever. Like I don't know, it's getting kind of played out at this point.
we just did it too with the same guy. That's
Right,
part of the problem. And he won the feud, and now it's
right.
like he's afraid.
And the work is solid. Like Yoko and Taker is a pretty good matchup. It's just make it about something else, I guess. Like I don't know. It's you can see like why Mankind was such a breath of fresh air for Undertaker because this is what they're doing. Like it's just same old shit every time.
The Bundy man is there. It's just like the same stuff's going to happen, right?
Yep.
It's going to keep Mabel, right? Like 95 is going to be still the same thing. Like Taker can only fight fat guys. Like it's
right.
Right. It's kind of what they're setting him up with. And
yeah, I don't know. It's just so played out. Like it's the same copy. Like they're making Undertaker like the late '80s Hulk Hogan. Like conquers all the giants. Like he's already a giant. So yeah.
I think it gets repetitive, but this interview, I think that's always funny when they do the, don't say the word casket. They say it in an accent. Cornette's really good at that stuff. Like it's so over the top, hammy and hawking it up. But I think they do it's pretty funny. But the problem is we've seen that for 2 months straight now, so it just gets old and repetitive. But I think overall that's a pretty funny idea of it. Segments.
Well, yeah, that's I mean, Cornette's great. Yoko's great in the performance of the role. It's just doing the same thing over and over. I guess it's like how I feel about like AEW, right? Like all the matches are great, but it's just great matches. Like that's all it is over and over again. There's no variance. Like give me something different, even if it's not as good as what you do. Like shake it up a little bit, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. They need something different for Taker. We'll see if anything comes sooner than Mankind, but it might not be that. All right, we move on to. Sorry, wait 1 second. We move on to Bob Holly squash match and Bob Backlund squash match. Bob Holly had this awesome crossbody, which I've never seen him do before.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool. Like got a lot of heights, did a good job. So I like that classic Bob Backlund squash there. Then why don't you get our main events? Unless you had anything else to add in there.
No, just the only note was that Owen was Backlund's second for the match, so he's kind of playing second fiddle to him, which is good in a way. Like it sucks for Owen getting shunted down the card, but at least like he has that like motivation to get rid of Bret since Bret beat him in the cage, so he's gonna do it through Backlund and kind of thing. So at least the dynamics there, like I guess we can, if we just have to separate ourselves from, hey, it sucks that he got demoted and just focus on like the actual talent itself, it's there. So at least that's it. And then our main event of this show is the Smoking Guns versus Tatanka and Bigelow. So I guess you're kind of seeing like the corporation like do like these mishmashes of tag teams where it's like random guys tag together. Like
really weird.
It's mainly with Bigelow. Like Bigelow's usually involved, one way or the other. But yeah, Tatanka and Bigelow just don't seem like a tag team. It just doesn't feel like they mesh well together. And it just sucks that these are like, if we think of '93, Bigelow's probably one of the best heels. Especially act with Luna, and Tatanka was like one of the best baby faces. And just to see where they've come, like it's crazy how like creative can just kill a guy. Like I'm not interested in really either one of these guys right now at current time. I know things can change, but just seeing them stuck as a tag team kind of sucks. I will say though, this match kind of got off to a pretty decent start. There's like these huge top rope drop kicks from the Guns, so they were on fire early. Seemed like they were bringing it a little bit more than they usually have, so that was good to see. they start brawling for a little while. Guns are on fire a little bit, get cut off, and then the eventually like the Survivor Series teams come down, which I'm always a big fan of that too. Anytime like it's Survivor Series season or Royal Rumble season, and you get like all the guys coming down.
Yep.
I know it's like
Finally.
right. I know it's like a trope and it's campy or whatever, but I just like it. I just like the visual of it. And um, Luger comes out and he has like the worst shirt of all time on too, like this deep V-neck cut. I don't know what he was thinking, but so the match ends on like a schmoz with the huge brawl, and this is what I want. Like I love these kind of finishes where one guy gets pissed off and jumps in, and that makes both the teams come in and they just start brawling, and it's just kind of chaos at the end. And like I know a lot of people probably don't like that stuff, but for me, it's just a cool visual to see like a lot of guys on the roster and kind of set the pace a little bit for what Survivor Series is going to be. So.
Yeah, I had the same note about the double drop kick. That looked awesome. It's also weird, like the timing of this. There must be some commercials missed because they don't get full entrances. Like we hear either you hear either they're like beginning of the song or they're like kind of in the ring.
Right.
Kind of weird cutaways. I'm guessing it's that the double drop kick was awesome. It's kind of weird, like Luger, like Tatanka feels like the feud's not there. Like you would think Luger would come right out and batter Tatanka, but it's like, nope, I'll just come out slowly later. It did weird. Unless you saw it, I didn't see our sexy boy. I put one of the heavenly bodies, but not the sexy boy. So I didn't see Gigolo out there. Did you?
Yeah, no, I didn't notice him either.
Yeah, first thing I put. I said one of the heavenly bodies.
Right.
He doesn't deserve his name. And then Bob and Mago. But I love this. The end of the ring. I wish they would have done this sooner. Build up kind of like these teams. I think 93 did a little better job of that. Like, big with the Razor and Kid and Model. I think that they did a lot better of that, like constantly having, infighting between teams and kind of different things. I thought they did a better job than this one. This is kind of like, okay, we're a week away and now we're finally getting feuding. But I thought it was pretty good for what I saw. So. And then we had everyone in the ring. So fun stuff. Really builds up the Survivor Series. That kind of
right.
Ending. So, anything else before we move on to Action Zone?
Nope, I think we're good.
All right, Action Zone. We got the 11-13 Action Zone. We start off with Bob Spark Plug Holly and Jerry Lawler with Queasy, Sleazy, and Cheesy. 13 minutes. This match was. It was pretty long. Match. Holly's got no credibility. Like he's just fallen down to King. He took Bob Holly had most of the offense, but it's just this is just a random match. There's no storyline advancement. Doink doesn't even appear. I mean, I'm not like we're always advocating for Doink, but like, why would you not have Doink come out here?
Right.
Holly should lose this 4-on-1. And sure enough, Holly's dominating the whole match. And then he does like a flip into the air. Like, I don't know what he was trying to do, but basically flies in the turnbuckle. His back hits there. Then he like cracks his neck on the mat as he falls down.
Yeah, it's like he tried a Bronco Buster or something.
Yeah, I think it was like trying a Bronco Buster, but it's like King wasn't in the position for it. Like, I don't know how he was going to like saddle him.
So
like,
weird.
It was going to be a weird move. Like he ended a Bronco Buster, but it was not that way. And they fell on his back and his neck. Like it did not look good at all. So again, I'm not sure what he was going for. But then we get, King with just a quick 1, 2, 3, probably hit the tights. I didn't see it, but it's just like King did nothing to win the match. There wasn't even anything with the Queasy or Sleazy or Cheesy, like interfering. Like, you could have at least built up to that. Like they just did nothing. And King just wins randomly and then walks away. Like it just feels like kind of a nothing match where I thought they've spent so much time with Doink and Dink. Like, why don't you have some of that on the outside? Instead, it's literally Jerry Lawler going over Bob Holly, who just absolutely at this time sucks. So
yeah, this match was very confusing. So like on paper, this is a match I live for. Bob Holly versus Jerry Lawler, like hell yeah, like this is a great TV matchup for me. But like Lawler's got his little buddies out there who my son thought was his kids because he was in here watching this one. He's like, oh, that's kids. So, no, it wasn't his kid's son, but yeah, like the move, like it's so confusing. Like Lawler wasn't seated. He's standing up. Like,
Nope.
I don't know if Holly was trying to like have sex with him in midair or something. I don't know what was
just
going
don't know what he
on.
was gonna do.
And it's like Bob Holly is this. He's not obviously he's not a main eventer. He's not even like a solid mid carder, but he's a credible enough babyface where you don't just pin him off of a dumb like it made him look so dumb. Like
And he
it's
was owning the match too. Like I don't know if you
right.
thought that way. Like I thought he
Yeah.
would
No, he
he was
was.
dominating.
He was on fire. He was showing good, babyface fire early on, and it was a decent match to start with. It's just so confusing at the end. Like you said, like there should have been some interference or something. And maybe there was supposed to be, and it just got botched. But the way he rolled him up after that, I was just like, wait, I had to rewind it and watch it again. I was like, there's no way that was a finish. But yeah, it definitely was. So
Yeah, it's a little rough.
I'm never gonna be mad about Lawler getting the W though. So that's good.
It's just he did nothing to deserve it. Like
Yeah.
he even cheats. Like normally
Right.
that's the guy he cheats.
Yeah, it wasn't even earned. So we then get a smoking gun squash. Nothing fancy there. We get another IRS graveyard promo. So they're kind of running these into the ground. No pun intended.
Yep.
But yeah,
I think we got to January for him. So
right. So oh yeah, he will be there until. Is that when IRS is gone?
No, I'm just saying these graveyard ones. I
Oh
mean, he
yeah.
might Fight's taker at
Oh, that's true.
at Rumble.
Yep,
So
yep,
I mean, at least till then,
yep.
we got this coming. So
Well, he's probably not that long for this. For
no,
95
this
either,
is
so.
this has got to be his last big feud. I feel
Right.
like. This has got to be the end of.
Which sucks because he's one of my revelations. Like I never would have thought I would like IRS, but his campiness is so awesome. So,
just real quick, I agree. These skits we've seen them a little bit too much, but I think these are funny. He's just such
They
a
are.
dick and
No, they are.
played. So I know some of the stuff is like you watch it over and over again, and you kind of see the same one 3 or 4 times. But I think in general these have been pretty funny, and he plays the part of just like this ass, but in a very monotone way.
Well, it's something like if you say, "Hey, you remember those IRS promos at the graveyard?" Like, "Oh yeah, those are good," but then when you're watching them in like a vacuum, like we are, like in a row, it's like okay, we've seen this 5 times already. So yeah, it's still good, but it is repetitive. Then he gets a quick squash win. So I always like how they follow like a promo up with a match like that. And then there's a Bret promo, which is a decent promo against Backlund, saying like he's not the old generation, but he's the lost one because he's lost his mind. Like I think Bret's the guy that like he'll either like hear a song or he'll get like a one-liner. And he's like, oh, I gotta make that a promo now.
Yep.
Yeah, so like he always tries to fit something like that, and then they do another decent bit of like cohesion here by going into a Neidhart squash after that, which just seeing him still like in singles action is just crazy to me. Like I just had no recollection. Like I remember Who being there in like '96, so I guess I don't know if he has like a break in between that, but I'm ready for Who.
I'm not I don't remember the Jim Neidhart career, so we'll see.
Well, I never thought I would actually say I'm ready for Who, but I
better than
I want to
this.
see. Yeah, I want to see some shakeup with him. This like, power gut, Neidhart just think this is not working for me right now. So
yeah, I agree. Same.
Shake it up a little bit.
They did have a long, like 10-minute promo between Todd and Vince, where they basically previewed everything for Survivor Series, but they were kind of in between. They weren't backstage, but again, I think those are done better when Todd's just doing them in the studio, because like Vince would interchange and like try to put it over, and he's just not as good as Todd. So there's actually not a lot on the Survivor Series because of like that 10 minutes of the Survivor Series preview. I couldn't believe how long it went. Like I looked up and I was like, it's still going on. Like this has been going on. So they've kind of done that before of like not going to the studio. I think just to make it feel like a little different of a show, but again,
I like it better.
Todd's better,
in the studio too,
and he's just better at it. Like I think by himself, like he doesn't need like, oh Vince, you're right. Doink is this way. Like it's very like radio-y, which I know Todd is that type of guy, but it doesn't flow the same.
Exactly.
All right, and then we got Luger with his mullets. It's really getting out of control right now too. I just put this is where Luger feels so low. I feel like they do a ton of piping in during this match. Like the crowd noise, like no one's going that crazy for Luger. The only thing I did, and I put Luger is done in all caps. But I do like after the match, he brings a kid into the ring with like a flag stick. So it seems like that might be his new like thing, is bringing a kid out to like wave the flag after his victory. So that'd be cool, something different. They've done that with the guest ring announcer. So okay, I like that. And then I put here again where the torture rack. I can't believe that's his move. And then we get the weird tag team of Bam Bam and King Kong Bundy this time. It's just weird that like Bam Bam is not with King Kong. Like,
right.
I do like the Bundy 5 count. I think that's a pretty sweet move.
I do.
Like, I think it's something different. It puts over him as a menace. They do bring a stretcher out for the guy, but the way the referees like toss him in the stretcher, they basically just barrel roll him over.
Yep.
And so that's kind of stupid. Like, it's really kind of like, okay, that's like as dumb as you can be. The way they like treat him, like, oh, we're gonna stretch him out. Like, no medic would ever do that. Just like push him and rolls him over. Like, so
exactly.
That kind of ruined that sketch. But a weird tag team. But we'll see where this goes. I don't know, like what this Bam Bam, King Kong Bundy, Bam Bam, Tatanka, like why they're doing this. But it's okay. It's nothing to end the show on. And then they announce next week we get a weirdest match. This might be the weirdest match we got. Double J versus Fatu. Like, why are they breaking up a tag team to fight Double J? So I think that might be, if we talk about weirdest matches, that one's up there for me.
Oh, 100%.
So we'll see that next week. But it's just like, how does that even come about? So we'll see on that. Anything else before we head off to Raw?
No, I think we're good.
All right. So this is the 11/14 Raw. This was taped back with the live one. So this is again without our buddy Macho Man. So this is we got DiBiase on commentary, and we get Backlund and 1-2-3 Kid. Now I meant to text you to see if you did this. Did yours start mid match or did you get the full match?
So if you watch this episode on the network, it does start with like a little blurb that says this had to be formatted to the best version possible for whatever. So I think like the very beginning of this show was either like shitty on the tape or something was wrong audio wise. So they must have had to cut because it like opens with Backlund holding Kid in the chicken wing. It's crazy because I first saw like I read the message, I looked at it, I'm like, okay, sometimes it says that because there's bad commentary or something. Then it opened with the chicken wing. I'm like, wait, what is this? Like, then I had to like look up results and see if that was the first thing, and then a lot of people had that too. So something must have been wrong with the master tape or something for it to start like that.
Yeah. Did you go back and try to find the match or no? I did not. I meant to.
No. I tried to like. Sometimes I'll look at like Raw on YouTube or something and see if someone has a different version, and it started the same way. That's all I could find. It's like Backlund was Kid in the chicken wing, and then like Bret coming down to save. And then like Backlund tells Bret that's a reminder for the Survivor Series, like showing him what the chicken wing looks like.
Yep.
And then Bret hauls ass down the ramp and like tackles Backlund and goes to put him in the sharpshooter and then lets him go and tells him that's a reminder. So that was kind of a cool spot. And they do like they are kind of starting to just now like hype up the submission aspect of it. So
it's like, something different. It's something different. Like, hey, I can get you the move, but I'm not going to hurt you. Like, make you think about it. I really like that. I think it's
me too
really,
because it's very unique. Like, it's very different. And like the thing, like I think Backlund has established the chicken wing. Like, he's going crazy on guys. But the only bad part is like Bret can't really do that being a babyface. Like, he can't hold jobbers in the sharpshooter for longer or anything like that. Like, it doesn't play off the same. So maybe they should have had Bret win a few more times with the sharpshooter on TV to kind of build that up. But yeah, I do like that aspect of like the one-upsmanship of like, okay, yeah, you can show me your hold, but I can show you mine, and that's just a little taste of it.
Yeah,
kind of thing. So that was a pretty unique start, even if I would have liked to have seen the match actually though.
Yeah, I wonder if it was good.
I like that mix. So.
Yeah, I mean, we love Kid. I mean, that's one thing of Revelations is how great Kid was and how underused at times he was. So
exactly.
Yeah, I really like the way they built that out. And then we get Mabel with Oscar. So Oscar's back for some reason. We get a long rap by Oscar. The crowd really got into it. They got fireworks. The crowd was into it. Mabel only does like his little part in the middle, like a little rap in the middle. So I thought that was way better than him that we've seen recently of rapping. The crowd I thought was electric for this compared to what I think they've been for Mabel. So Mabel definitely with Oscar works way better. We're missing Mo, but it was good there.
Yeah, part of the vibes were back with this squash match. I liked it. So
Yeah, and then we got Jeff Jarrett, or sorry, yeah, and Mabel. Sorry, I had a look. This jobber, he faces the Blue Phantom, which is I don't know if
Yep.
we've seen ever before, but one of his boots is undone. I don't know if you noticed this in a match,
No.
and he almost trips himself like half the
Oh
match. Like
shit.
he has like Velcro straps over his like boots, like they're not
Right.
like your standard wrestling ties. And basically at the beginning, it's undone. And rather than like, I would just be like, stop, wait up, I'm gonna fix this. But the entire match, he's trying to like fix it, and it's like flapping all over the place. It's really weird. And then we all get the $1 Million Man on commentary with Vince loving the girth of Mabel. He says girth like 3 times, which is
Vince is in
just
love
disgusting.
with Mabel.
Just
Yes.
it's just he's like, look at that girth. I'm like,
Yes.
stop saying that.
I'm surprised we didn't get Big Daddy V like trunks with your tits
Yeah.
showing Mabel in this era.
Soon enough. Vince is like,
Yeah.
ratings are low. Once the ratings get high
Right.
again, we're gonna
Yeah.
sexy boy Mabel out.
Yeah.
So yeah, nothing there. But again, this is way better version of Mabel when he's got Oscar with him.
Yep, I agree. And then after that, there's a quick Double J squash. So kind of good to see him still in the mix a little bit. I like it. I know in a month or two he's going to ramp up a little bit more. So I think there's a lot of the things we've been seeing right now is kind of like a holding pattern because the year is going to turn and the build towards Mania is going to start. So it's kind of like closing the book on a few things here. Like in the past couple weeks, like it's not really ramping anything up yet. So like guys like Jared are kind of like stagnant a little bit. Guys like Owen are shunted down. Mabel's not really doing anything. Like it's just Razor's not really like crazy into anything right now. So just interesting to see how they do that.
Yeah, they're definitely a little weird funk right now. We just say
Mhm.
like the build took forever for them to announce matches. Like this just feels
Right.
like a rush Survivor Series. Like it just feels out of place. And then Vince quickly pivots to Diesel, right? So like,
Mhm.
was that a long time coming, or like Vince wasn't sure what he wanted to do? So I mean, I know it's not yet, but right soon we get like Jerry Jarrett coming in, like different guys coming as bookers, and I don't know if like they just didn't really have like a long term plan because business was so bad that like Vince didn't know what to do. It'd just be kind of interesting to go back in time and be like, okay, so this stuff just doesn't feel right, right? It just like doesn't make sense, and they don't have like direct a lot of things, not everything, which is something, especially that SummerSlam to like Survivor Series. This is felt the most lost they felt. Not everything else stuck in other periods, but this feels like the most lost they've been.
Well, yeah, it's. I still think it just boils down to Vince wanting a big man at the top, and I think like, 94. I guess 93 was like the trial run for Bret, and he still kind of pivoted to Hogan and Yoko, like
Yeah.
what his formula was, and then 94 he was kind of in the courtroom, so Jerry Jarrett's in there running things. That's why you see guys like Kid getting highlighted, and you see Bret and Owen get highlighted because that was the thing with Memphis was like Dundee, like Bill Dundee got pushed up,
Yep.
and smaller guys, Rock and Roll Express, whatever, like faster action. And now you're seeing Vince back in the fold, and it's back to being Undertaker versus Yoko. It's back to being we're going to see Diesel soon. We're going to see Razor. We're going to see your bigger guys come in, and yeah, we do see like different bookers, like Bill Watts comes in at 95,
right.
shakes it up a little bit. So I love 95, so it can't get here fast enough, but it definitely is just like things are just, like there's no consistent like all right, 92 in WWF, 91 in WWF is not the glory years anymore, but at least you know what the promotion is. Like it has an identity. Like right now it just doesn't feel like there's one like path that it's going to.
Yeah, it feels like they don't have like a lot of things figured out, right? What they want to do and things
Right.
like that. I think that hurts 95 on some of this stuff, and I think
Yeah.
I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit, like the Rumble, especially on some of it, like what were they doing, on some of this stuff. So,
Mhm.
but
yes.
the Savior is coming in the next match. So,
Oh yeah. Well, first we have a King's Court with Owen Hart. So Lawler does mention like with Owen here that it's the first ever submission match in the WWF, which I don't know if that's true or not. I
I
can't
have,
really remember one before that, but
yeah.
you
They make
know,
this a big deal, like I don't know, it's sometimes cooler on like cage match or something like that, but this feels like a little bit. I don't know.
yeah. Yeah, so it does like it does bring into it brings into the picture that Backlund could get the upset because it is a different match that's never been done before. So it's not like, hey, this is Brett's specialty, like he can
Yep.
survive this. It's something that they haven't done. So I like throwing that out there. I like how they called like Arnold's calling a turncoat for throwing the towel in for Backlund, and like Owen's the new guy now. He's not
Yep.
gonna just throw it in. And Bulldog kind of comes out to defend Brett's name, which I like that Owen and Bulldog are kind of feuding through Brett. Like it's, I like the brother-in-law defending and then the brother-in-law against kind of thing. So I like that, like in the background of the actual Brett feud. I wish that that's the direction it would have went. I wish like we would have built to an Owen and Bulldog program like that. They did end with like a match at Mania or something like that. Like think about how much better that would have been with those two, like having a singles match at Mania. So which we know doesn't happen, but yeah. So King's Court, it wasn't the best, but it does at least advance the storyline a little bit. So we get something out of it at least.
Yep. And then the Portuguese man of war shows up, and we get the. I can't
I was
believe
not expecting this.
I can't believe he's one. There's no promos for him, so he just comes
Right.
out of nowhere. I can't believe this lasted more than 1 week. Is my next comment. His music, again, who knows what on the actual play was actually happening, but his music's impossible to hear. Like I can't actually hear his music. So again, maybe the tape they're watching right is not the best, but I can't do that. And then $1 Million Man talks about how he's heard good things about him. Again, how has he heard good things about him? We're never heard of this guy before. He has no credibility. And then it seems like the feud of the year, Aldo Montoya, or after the match, $1 Million Man comes in the rings and tries buying him off, and basically Aldo tells him no. So I don't know. I would like that if $1 Million Man was doing that for like different guys. Like it's kind of a cool idea of like, hey, I like this guy. I'm going to go walk in the ring and go buy him. I think that was a cool idea, but it's like when he said like, oh, I've heard good things about him. Like where? What? Like there's not supposed to be other wrestling. Like you know what I mean?
Right.
Like the idea of Vince is like this isn't a vacuum. There's no minor leagues. There's no NXT at this time. Like it's like no, they just show up, right? Like it's all kayfabe at this time.
And what was so like endearing about it? Like he comes out and he looks like Seinfeld in a jockstrap. Like he looks like he was just a jobber on your TV like a couple months ago. It was PJ Walker. And I'll give a spoiler alert. This is like if anybody's seen Just Incredible in ECW, this is the highlight of his career because Just Incredible sucks, I think. But Aldo Montoya is a I just don't understand like where this was coming from. Like you took this jobber that you saw was busting his ass and like, oh, we want to give him a break, and then they must have learned that he spoke a little Portuguese or something and said, okay, we're gonna make him this. Like I don't know. Very weird. There's also a portion in the match where DiBiase's like reading ads and he fucks up. Like he fucks up reading the ads, and you could tell it kind of bothers Vince a little bit because he's like, all right, we're gonna do this again to find people at USA get their money's worth kind of thing. Like I was like, holy shit! Like he just told DiBiase you're a dumbass pretty much. So
yeah. I mean, they've done that. They used to do that with Macho Man. I think they're trying to recreate that skit of like reading the ads. Like that was always a thing. I don't know. Probably Vince is like, I don't like doing this. We're gonna make fun of it. I'm guessing.
Oh, that's fair.
That's what is happening. I'm not sure, but maybe just effed it up. But it feels like Vince is like, I hate this thing. Let's make fun of it. Like it feels.
Well, and then like the end too, like you said, like he offers him the money. Like why is he offering him this money? Like this guy has no build. He just wanted like a simple
beat the
squash,
Brooklyn Brawler.
right? Like what? and then Montoya's comeback was, "Hey, you can shove it in your ear." I was like, "What? What the hell? Like, when is that a thing? Like, who says that?"
Yeah.
So yeah,
well, 94.
Very weird way to end a Raw. I did not see this coming. I did not know Aldo Montoya.
Oh.
I thought Aldo Montoya was like a mid 95 thing. So
yeah, I was like, maybe he's in the Rumble. Like even when I saw him come out, I was like, I don't even know if he's in the Rumble. I'm like, okay, maybe I could have understood that, but him coming out 3 months before the Rumble is just weird. So
yeah, so I'll take it. I'll take Aldo Montoya for right now if I have to.
if you're looking for this figure, you're gonna look for his figures.
I mean, I wish there was one, and I'm dead serious about that. Anything 1995, like I will collect every single one. I don't care if it's
TJ
who. I don't
Hopper.
care if it's TL Hopper.
T-
Every single one of them. No, and I'm telling you, 95. You're gonna see a side of me when 95 comes. That
Sean Pierre Lafitte.
yeah, it's gonna be very. I'm gonna be very ashamed to look back on, but
Yeah,
I'm gonna be.
I'm going to be interested in it because I think, and I know we're jumping ahead a little bit, but it's going to be interesting just because I think there's a lot of stuff that's good in there. Like that's not all terrible. It's just some of the decisions are just so bad, right? In the main events, like, especially the main event scene, which maybe we'll like better, but some of the main events, I mean,
yeah.
Tatanka main eventing is just.
Well, see, like I love all the shitty stuff in '95 too. Like I have a very fond nostalgia for it, but I will be interested to see how Diesel's main event title run goes and all the shit main eventers they put him in there with, and how they build the run and whatever. Like I will be interested to see, critique
and how much
that
is his
as it
fault?
goes.
I guess I want to see how much is his fault too.
Right. Well, I mean, they
matches.
rushed him into it anyway. Like
I know.
it's so weird. I mean, we're
still
obviously jumping ahead, but.
Right, but I know you have to. You gotta give him some fault for it, even though he's
Right.
rushed. Like,
Right.
picking up matches, right?
Yep.
I don't think you can't deny that. So,
Yep.
All right. And then we do get the announcement for the Sunday Night Slam, which is pretty fun. We got Bulldog Owen, Bulldog versus Owen, and we also get Smoking Gun versus Heavenly Body. So pretty cool matches. They're all involved in the Survivor Series. So we'll get next time the Sunday Night Slam. So they're really kind of making that the press for the final, build up for Survivor Series. So next time we'll do Survivor Series and Sunday Night Slam plus the Action Zone Superstars and Raw.
Mm-hmm.
But should we go to awards before that?
Yes, sir.
All right, we got most new gen outfits.
You know what? I mean, we just talked about it for as well. I'm gonna have to go Aldo Montoya. I did not see him coming. These bright colors, the yellow jockstrap on his face. Yeah. I'm gonna go with that.
Let me see if I got someone that I want to go with instead. Man, most new gen outfit. I'm gonna go Lex Luger's mullet. I had called it out somewhere,
Nice.
but it's out of control right now for a guy that's the very lengthy mullet. Most new gen performer.
Performer. Yeah, that's kind of rough. I don't want to go Aldo Montoya again.
I was about to say, should I just put Aldo Montoya for all these
I mean,
you?
if it fits, but who's actually solid? He had a good promo and a good little segment. I'm gonna go Bret. I haven't went Bret a lot in a
Bret's
while.
Been a while.
So, yeah. I like his involvement these few episodes.
I'm gonna go Oscar and Mabel. I thought that was a really fun segment where we've seen before. The crowd is so into them. It's crazy. They've been around since like early '93 as well. Like they've been around for a long time, but I still think they got it. Like we'll see how they continue.
Especially the act with Oscar, it's just way better. So
yeah. Worst match or segments.
There's a lot of things you could say is the worst, but I think the Neidhart squash. I'm just sick of seeing him on the TV.
I literally put the same thing. I actually think
nice.
most of that back half of the Action Zone was pretty rough. Like after the opening match, which is kind of fun, silly ending, but the Action Zone was a little rough. Like it was just like there's nothing happening here. Like 10 minutes of Vince talking about Survivor Series is not bringing anything. So I literally typed in Anvil and then you said him too. So I was already ahead of you. Best match or segments.
So there wasn't anything great either. Just the one thing that I thought was like unique was the whole Bret like throwing Backlund into the sharpshooter and letting him go kind of thing. And I wish we'd have got a Backlund Kid match, but that would have made it even better. But I'm gonna have to go with that little segment there.
Yeah, I'll go with the Smoking Guns tag match just because of the Survivor Series, like everyone in the ring, in the ring thing. I think that's a staple that we've been loving. Anyone stock up besides Man of War?
I mean, yeah. How could you not say? I'm gonna go with Mabel. Mabel coming back with Oscar like that. If that unit stays, I can definitely see his stock rising back up and being like a crowd favorite again.
Yep. I think I'll go the same. Yeah, I'll go the same. I didn't really see anyone else who jumped out to me there. Oh, I'm gonna go Bret because you talked up Bret more than that. I think that I'll go with Bret with that. And then anyone stock down.
Only because of the way he just got treated, and like I still like him, but I'm gonna have to go Bob Holly. Just losing that with that dumb finish, like it was just so dumb. Like it just made him
Yeah.
look terrible. So I'm gonna have to go with him.
I'm going the same. I think that was. I mean, he just sucks.
Yeah.
For a guy I loved, like
Right.
Bob Holly, like Thurman Snarky Plug, like I was a mark for him.
Like how
And
are
it
you
just,
losing like that?
like into the Lawler, who has no credibility, who doesn't, who
Yeah.
always like this. Do you think this is Lawler's first clean and maybe only clean victory in the WWF?
Against the name, yeah. I mean, maybe he has a couple like squashes against jobbers, but
I don't even
even
know
then
about
he
that
probably
because
cheats.
I'm sure he cheats.
Right.
Right, like this might be his only clean victory. So.
Yeah, that's true.
It's up there, so I'll go Bob Holly as well. I know we don't like doing the same, but I think this is one where it has to. So
Right.
all right, well, great episode as always. We will be back in 2 weeks. Like I said, Survivor Series Showdown. Plus, we'll get the last Raw Superstars and Action Zone before Survivor Series, and the time after that, we'll be ready for Survivor Series 94. So, thanks again for listening, radio viewing on the Backbone Network, and we'll see you next time.
Yes, sir.
I got my boy, he's willing and able. What's his name? His name is Mabel. Mabel, I said it. He's on the case, but call him Mabel to his face. 495 and he's built to last. So let the sign for you, the boy is fast. M to the A to the B-E-L. He's guaranteed to ring your bell. We're on a mission. We're on a mission. We're on a mission. That's right. We're on a mission.